If I can have your attention here in the media center, we are now joined by Dale Earnhardt Jr., driver of the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, who, thanks to Mother Nature...
Oh, man. All those flashes are screwing it up. Hold on.
Hold on a second. We're going to get a good panoramic shot here for Twitter. Good deal. Thanks to Mother Nature, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start first in tomorrow's Coke Zero 400. Dale, I mean, when you go out in that first practice session, knowing that that's going to set the lineup for the field if the weather turns south, do you put any extra effort out there to put up that big number? Or?
I asked Greg before we went out to practice what we were trying to accomplish in that first practice, and that was the first thing he mentioned was to go out that first run and try to put a lap down because the weather wasn't looking real good for today. So that was his decision, and it ended up working out for us.
Good deal. We're going to open the floor up to questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Al, and then we'll go back in the back to George.
Yeah, Dale, over here, Al Pearson, Auto Week. Let me get the non-Daytona question out of the way early. You're one of a handful of drivers, not more than 8 or 9, who have raced at Darlington on Labor Day 500 and when that race was run in May or April, whatever. Is there an appreciable difference in the atmosphere of those two weekends? Is the Labor Day Southern 500 that different from when it was run back in May or whenever it was?
I don't think I'm old enough to tell the difference. I imagine that's a question that a guy like David Pearson or Kel Yarborough could answer. Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, guys like that, but I don't think I'm old enough to really feel like a big difference. Every time I've ever been to Darlington, it's always kind of felt the same.
But you raced there on Labor Day weekend, though.
Whatever you say.
We'll go to the back to George, and then we'll come up to Bob, and then to Alan.
Yeah, back here, Dale, George Diaz with the Orlando Sentinel. Obviously it's a nice ceremonial deal, but does it make much of a difference where you start? I mean, do you like starting in the front? Does it matter if you start way in the back in these deals?
When you had the pole locked you into the Busch Clash, it was pretty damn cool. So I wish that was the way we still kind of got elected or locked into the Sprint Unlimited. It really was a much more prestigious race when that was the way you got in, and it made the pole a bit more prestigious and sought after as well. I think that the pit selection here is very important, so that'll be great to have that first stall, because if we have a shot to win this race, we're going to need to be up on the front row toward those last couple restarts. And obviously, I think that leading the race at the end is the best place to be. And that pit selection will give us the opportunity to be more competitive on pit road, trying to get that sought-after position coming off pit road, that final stop.
Go to Bob, Alan, Dustin, then Jeff.
Bob Hawker, ESPN. You guys had another meeting of the Drivers' Council today. Can you give us any insight on what you talked about and maybe what you feel good and or bad about?
I felt great about all of it, actually. The meetings that we've had with them have been really good and real productive. They talked about the direction they wanted to go a little bit. We talked a little bit about tires, a little bit about the changes they're going to make, what they are wanting to do with this low-down force package in the future, and what they want to do at some other racetracks as well. So I think I'll let them decide when they want to give everybody that information. But the meeting's been great, and I think that it's there's just NASCAR has to meet with everybody so often, and we just kind of get in there and get the information that they're getting from Goodyear in the meetings that they have with them. They're meeting with the owners often, all the drivers. So it's they're busy. They're busy folks, and they got a lot going on. We're trying to make some good changes, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this works. Whether it works or not isn't really the question. I think that opportunity to even try it's pretty cool. So I I'm not expecting that Kentucky to reveal a lot of obvious answers on the direction we need to go. We're going with a low downforce package that the drivers want, but we're not really able to get the tire we want, the softer tire to really fit with that or work with that. The tire's a bit better, but not quite enough. So, and I think that's understood amongst NASCAR, ourselves, and Goodyear. So, the Kentucky thing isn't like the Kentucky weekend won't be a weekend we take a ton of stock in as far as what this package is going to really be able to lend us and if it would work somewhere else. I think we will get the opportunity to learn more before the chase and hopefully understand exactly what direction we need to go in 2016. So it's all good. The meetings have been good and productive. Everybody's acting. Everybody's well mannered, and it's going good. It's a good thing for NASCAR, I think, to be able to even have that kind of communication going on.
Good, Alan. You good? Okay, let's go to Dustin, then to Jeff.
I can hear you good.
Dale, you know that NASCAR contacted teams talking about some different things with high downforce, low downforce events coming up. One of the things that apparently talked about was Chicagoland Speedway, the test
Yep.
having a low downforce.
Yep.
Now this is the possibility of a chase race
Right.
having a different rules package. Is there a concern or thoughts about that? And also, I know this isn't Xfinity, but maybe you can put it on an owner's hat. If you're coming with different rules packages for both races, is there an additional cost for owners, and you're going to be needing different cars for different tracks at this rate as this continues?
I think NASCAR. We discussed in the meeting today that there would be no decision on a unique package other than what we've ran this year in the chase. And we want to, I'll be at that Chicago test. I think it's a great idea to go there and take whatever package they would like to try because it's a great opportunity to be there. We'll be there 3 full days, and we'll need some stuff to do. So I think to try the low downforce package there is just a great opportunity, and I don't think that it really would insinuate they expect to try to use that package in the chase race. From what I heard today in our discussion, NASCAR was apprehensive really to use any other package than what we've had all year in the chase, and that they would work with the teams and the drivers before making that type of decision. We'll go through and see what happens up into the chase with these different packages they want to try, and then maybe come to a decision to change something in the chase. But until then, nothing in the chase is really going to change as far as I've been told. And I feel comfortable about that. And if they did want to change something, I'm fine with that. We're supposed to adapt. We're supposed to, conform to whatever decisions and rules and changes they want to make. If they feel like it's a change that's going to help the sport, we need to adapt to it. As an owner, I don't think that we're going to get into a situation where we're taking different cars to go with a certain package. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but every time you change a rule, no matter how minimal or small, we're going to try to engineer it to death and spend money trying to learn how that can be an advantage of some sort. So, we have a budget in the Xfinity Series. I'm speaking for Junior Motorsports only. We have a budget. We work within that budget, and we don't go over it. And wherever we fall in competition is where we fall.
We're going to go to Jeff, and then we'll close it out with Ken.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. I think I saw that you went to the ISC archives and walked around there. I was just curious, what stuck out to you? What did you see that you thought was interesting?
One of the things that I saw was an old bench from the garage before we had them pull around wagons with all the tools and stuff. They had you'd carry your toolbox in there with a couple guys carry in there by their hands and set it up on top of this bench. And those benches are about as long as this table, and they ran through the entire center of the garage, and you basically could talk and work right across from the guy in the stall across from you. You could see all the way through the garage at everybody, pretty much. And the whole leading edge of all these benches, they're made out of wood, obviously, and the whole leading edge has got all kinds of holes in it where people are just drilling holes and stuff, making a quick bracket or a mount or something, and they would just hold it with a vice grip and drill right into the wood. It just really was a piece of the past. Having spent a lot of time nosing around in the garages, I found that to be really interesting to me. Apparently, when they came in here to take the garages apart to build the enclosed garage, they were tearing those apart and destroying them, and somebody saw that happening, and they had stopped the crew from doing that, whoever was doing that, and they saved about 3 of those benches, which is, I just thought that bench was cool as hell. As a grease monkey mechanic kind of guy, I thought it was really neat. The other part of it that was really, really overwhelming was the film room. I collect vintage races, old races, from the 70s, 60s, the 50s, all the footage that I can get my hands on. Most of the stuff that I deal with is anything that was produced that's out there in the trading circles of Yahoo groups and whatever. A lot of the stuff that I saw in this room is raw footage that's not produced, not available, one-of-a-kind stuff that only NASCAR has. He said it was all digitized and in Charlotte somewhere, so I'm going to figure out where the hell that room is. And I'd like to have all the footage I could get on, some particular races, like Dad's first win at Bristol. I've seen raw footage of that. We see it in highlights and whatnot on television, so I know it exists, and I don't own any of it. So it'd be cool to have particular races like that, whatever I can get my hands on.
Coming soon to the NASCAR library, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
2 quick subjects. Racing here tomorrow night in front of a skeleton of a grandstand there over the start-finish line. How did that look during the little bit of practice you had yesterday, and how do you expect that to create a different feel out there tomorrow night? And secondly, your thoughts on removing grass from all the racetracks, including, could you ever imagine them removing the grass from inside the tri-oval here at Daytona?
Have they made a decision to do that at any racetrack? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been mentioned by several drivers. I don't know about getting rid of the grass. I think we should get rid of the splitter on the car that digs into the grass. You get rid of the splitter, you save yourself a lot of trouble. I think that I wasn't really prepared to see what I saw when I pulled in here, I guess Thursday. My head exploded when I saw all those seats that weren't there. So I wasn't ready for that, but I reckon this is a longer project than I was led to believe. And when it's done, it'll be an amazing, incredible thing. But it'll be weird, yeah. Racing in front of, especially right there at the flag stand, there's nothing. So it'll be odd. But I guess it's the price you pay to get to where we want to be, and for Daytona to build the facility they want to build and give the fans the experience they want. It's just going to take some time, and we have to get through this weekend. It's pretty odd. I'm sure the NBC is going to do some camera magic where you'll never see it. But when I pulled in here, I couldn't believe it. I thought I couldn't believe what I was seeing. No way they were going to have a race here with no fans.
Well, Dale, we really appreciate you coming in. Congratulations on starting from the pole, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.